What's going on, guys? Zedd here, bringing you another Tekken 8 video. This one is one that I was planning on doing eventually, but I had a viewer ask me in one of my last videos, hey Zedd, if you could give me one piece of advice to new Claudio players, what would it be? And so that was sort of the idea for this video, and then that comment inspired me to make it sooner rather than later. So with that said, here are 3 things that I think you should keep in mind as a new Claudio player. The first tip I've got for you is the one that I have in the thumbnail. It's also the one that I did respond to him, and that is simply to get comfortable not using while running 2. Now I know that seems sort of unintuitive given you're playing Claudio. I mean, Zedd, why would I not use while running 2? Well, it's not that I don't want you to use while running 2, it's that I want you to get comfortable winning without it. I want you to get comfortable not just building your only game plan around it. I'll also, and in unison with that, I still want you to get good at the while running game, but I want you to use that option the least. Now, the reason I say this is because so many Claudio players will pretty much only think, hey, I'm sitting at, yay range 3, let's say 2.5 to 3.5, and I want to get in, so I'm just going to do while running 2. Okay, the problem with that is a lot of players will either step Claudio, and in order to step this, you just step to this direction, and this avoids both while running 2 and forward 4, or they will duck. A lot of people will duck the while running 2 because they want the big juicy punish and the non-off axis combo, right? So I honestly think it will benefit you in the long run, just learning the character, to not rely on while running 2. Do I still want you to be comfortable with it? Yes, and I'm going to talk about that in the second tip. But in general, I want you to recognize that this shouldn't be the go-to while you're learning the character and getting better. If anything, this should be your go-to approach tool, or run up back 1. Okay? Like that. Okay? And the reason why, again, is it's very risky to go for Ira with unprompted, with no, conditioning, no way around it, especially if you're in the low mid ranks. People want that sweet duck and punish, right? So they're going to be tempted to duck. And if they're ducking as opposed to stepping, forward 4 is opened up, which is +6 on hit, or of course if you counter hit, then you get extensions. Not that. Not that. Right? Something like this. Right? And then the Starburst, obviously, that. Get comfortable with forward 4, get comfortable with run up back 1, try to use while running 2 a little bit less, and then work it into your game afterwards. The second tip I have for you, which I kind of alluded to in the first tip, is coming back to while running 2. This one is, I want you to practice on both sides of the screen getting really lightning fast instant while running 2s, right? So I mean, we all know the input is forward 2, right? But the move, if you look at the frames in the bottom there, it says 13 to 16. Now, the reason that's variable is because the last active frame will be 16. So you basically want to try to get your instant while running 2 as close as you can to that frame speed, right? In this case, 16 frames. The reason why is there are certain things in the game that Claudio can only punish with a true frame perfect or darn near frame perfect instant while running 2. And I've talked about this in a few other videos, but he also has just incredibly good options if you can do it. Oh, sorry, there it is. Right, so after his 1+2 grab, if you're really quick, this is guaranteed. Like that. Right? Eventually, you want to get to the point where, you back up and you just really want to practice it. Like, okay. Right? Something like that. Right? So 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 17 at the slowest, right? So from neutral, I was able to input a 17 frame while running 2 at slowest, right? Because again, I'm doing 3 + 3 + 3 + 3 + 3, and I'm actually adding the 2. This is how I do it, just so I get my bulk number, and the smaller I can get it, the better. That's how I look at it, at least. Either way, the faster you can do while running 2s, the better. And that way it can become, as invisible as possible. You want to be able to basically, while running 2, straight out of the block. Right? With nothing more than a single step, because that single step is required. Like that, right? If you can make it look that clean, you're looking good, but then in the neutral, if you can make it, I'd say about 20 frames or less, right? So let's count again. So from the 95, we have 2 plus 5, 7, 9, 12, 13, 17. So that was just another 17 frame while running 2. If you can get a sub 20 frame while running 2, you're in a pretty good position, I would say. And again, important to test this on both sides. Right, so you can become more well-rounded as a player. And yeah, so lightning fast while running 2s, that's the second tip. I just wanted to explain kind of how I would math that out, how I would use that to practice for yourself, and go from there. And the third and final tip I have for you is Claudio away from the wall, right? So if let's say we're not at the wall, Claudio away from the wall is not very threatening. There's no real mix-up, there's no real pressure, there's nothing to really be afraid of, there's no real concern for your life in general, and the goal should be to get the opponent to the wall. Now, can you say this is about every character? I mean, yeah, but for Claudio, it's evidently true. And the difference between Claudio and the majority of the cast is when he's at the wall, you're in full control. I've made a video about this, so I won't spend any time on this, but his wall game is nuts. I made a video that discusses Claudio's wall game briefly in 5 seconds, or you can watch the whole thing for the breakdown as well. So check that out if you want some help with the wall game. But I just want you to recognize that at the wall is where Claudio is a real character. He is pretty solid. You're not going to be able to backdash the sidestep 4. You're not going to be able to backdash the down 2-2. His throw game is still mediocre, but at least they can't backdash that. And of course, you have all the means of hitting them against the wall, right? Back 1, forward 3, down forward 3, forward 4 is very good, and then obviously your sidestep 4. So tip number 3 is simple, it's quick, it's easy. Get them to the wall, keep them at the wall, maintain that wall control, and you will see success. So there you have it. There are my 3 tips for playing Claudio. If you are new to him or new to Tekken in general, I think these things are important. I know the second tip was a bit longer than the other 2, but they all really culminate into their own thing. Learn to play him without while running 2, but get amazing at the while running 2, and then take them to the wall as well. And hey, look at that YouTube sub. Good timing. Speaking of which, if you like the content, I would love a sub to the YouTube channel. Appreciate it. I don't shill it, but that timing was impeccable. Had to take it. Let me know in the comments if this helped you guys out at all, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace for now.